Hi everyone, welcome back to another Cut Above with Chris. I've just got back from the shops, picked up a few bits and bobs. I've just picked up another one of these tubs, and as you can see inside there I've got LEA, or LEA, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. It's a Spanish made soap. What I've done is I've grated it with a sort of old cheese grater that we've got, an old grater, and grated it into the tub. And I've then just used the pressure and the heat of my fingertips to squish it down into the bowl. Scent wise, it just smells like a nice hand soap, you know, like a Dove or something like that. I don't really get anything from it. Scent strength, I'll tell you really what it reminds me of. It reminds me a lot of the Kent shaving soap. This soap is rock hard. It was like grating a block of cheese that had been left out on the counter for 6 months and went rock hard. That's what it was like, grating that. It's I don't know how it's going to perform. I've got a funny feeling it's going to be very similar to Mitchell's Wool Fat, but it might prove me wrong. The difference being, I now have these bad boys to whip up amazing lathers. If I can't get a lather out of these, there's something wrong with the soap, or the water's just not right for this type of soap. So let us load the brush straight from the dry soap. I'm not going to bloom it. I don't do anything with my soap, so if I can't get a lather from a soap straight off what it is, then it's not good enough in my opinion. It's not a good enough soap. These little tubs are excellent. They do have a airtight seal, so they're great for putting your soaps in. Once they're dried, you put the lid on and no air's going to get in there and actually hamper your soap or damage it or do anything to it at all. That's the theory anyway. Now this is doing pretty well. Scent strength out of the packet comes in a little wrapped pack inside a square box. The scent strength is like a 1.5, 1.5. It's not even a 2, I don't think. It's really, really mild scented. It is based for sensitive skin, but there is a scent there. Apparently there's some menthol in here as well, which I'm looking forward to. I do love a bit of menthol. I don't know how much menthol will be in here, but now I'm just going to load this a little bit longer than normal because it's a very hard soap. I want to give this best possible chance of a great lather. Load it like you hate it, as the stallion says. Right, so there we go. I think I probably got enough in there for 32 lathers. It's absolutely caked. Wet the face, cold water today. And I'll paint it on. Now this is meant to be for sensitive skin, so let's just see. My skin seems to react to quite a few soaps, so let's see if it reacts to a soap which is made for sensitive skin. Right, that's it. Painted on. So all I'm going to do now is just dip the tips of the brush. Well, I'm using the Wolf Whiskers today with a 24mm tuxedo knot bulb. Dip the tips. And here we go. You probably noticed with my lather technique, I tend to do more straight backwards and forwards. I don't swirl the brush. I do every now and then as I'm going around and stuff, but it's generally a to and fro movement that I do. I find it works better. Right, the lather seems to have stopped growing now. So what I do, just dip the tips lightly and just add it back onto the lather, onto the face, and then just scrub it a little bit more. And as you can see down the bottom here, it's starting to build globs of lather. And then basically once I find I've got enough of the correct consistency on my face, which that's not too far away, I come down here, grab it all, and then I just go into a painting motion. I don't know how good this lather is. It looks to me to be very airy. And I don't know if that's because it needs more water. I find if you add more water to an area lather it gets area. Or whether it's just going to be one of those soaps that I struggle with my water hardness. And it's definitely airy, but I'm not sure that it's dissipating. It looks thick enough that it might just do the business. It lathered easy, there's no issues actually lathering it. Right, going for the Gem Micromatic Silver Bullet Point. This razor here is on its 4th use now, I think. So I'll just tighten that back down. I'll just get stuck in. Yeah, that lather's definitely dissipating. So like I said in my previous video, it's going to get a little bit boring with this razor. Not for me, but for you guys if you watch. Because I'm going to use it until the blade's done, just to see how many shaves I can get out of this razor. Right. Not out of the razor, but out of the blade. It's a lanolin based soap. I think it's lanolin and glycerin. It's got a few other sort of essential oils in there. I think allantoin is in there as well. How's the soap performing? It's alright, it's not, it doesn't feel luxurious. The residual slickness is there, loads of it, but it's just not a, it's not a luxury shaving soap. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to start building this lather again. And I'm going to dip the tips again. It might need more water, that could be what it is. I'm just going to dip them again, stuff it, see what happens. There is menthol in there. It's not a great amount, but I can feel it. It is quite nice. It's just enough to sort of give you that light feeling of the coolness. Oh, just inhaled that there. Oh. I'm just going to dip the tips again. To me, it feels more luxurious now already. It feels thicker. It feels much thicker. It feels more like a real lather now. I think hadn't added enough water to it the first time around there, and that's certainly helped. And as you can see, it's still building a tremendously thick lather, even with all that water that I've added. Much better, it is much better. The slickness is there, I know that. There's no scent, literally scentless, but it is built for people with sensitive skin. Which I myself do seem to have. Right, cross the grain. I do enjoy that with this razor, that you can just keep going. It doesn't clog up, it doesn't get... It's not like a DE. DEs seem to clog up a little bit, they stop cutting efficiently, don't feel comfortable. It's like it's just gliding over the soap or the cream of the lather. When you use this, it just seems to keep going through the lather and cutting the hair. It's really efficient. The soap is much better now. It feels much more protective, much more cushiony. It actually does remind me, scent wise, of the Kent shaving soap that I had, which is actually produced by Mitchell's Wool Fat. It has a very slightly different scent. Still very mild scent, which this has. That, yeah, it was a much better pass, felt much more comfortable, I felt much more confident with the lather itself. The slickness is pretty good. It'll be interesting to see what the post-shave feels like, whether it's anything like Mitchell's Wool Fat, because I don't believe, from memory when I read this, I don't think it actually has any sort of... I'm not sure if it's tallow based or not, let me have a look, I'm not 100% sure. I would say from painting that on there, that buttery feeling, that it possibly might be tallow based, but I'm not sure. Something I'd have to look into. Just going to dip the tips again. Yeah, that's all this soap needs, a good drink. I've overloaded the brush, that's what the problem is. I've way overloaded it, thinking it's going to be similar to Mitchell's Wool Fat, and it's quite clearly not for me. This stuff lathers up really easily, far too easily, if there's such a thing. And it's tremendous. Just to give you an idea on how thick this is, you'll see if I put my nail through there. You can actually see the depth of that lather. Really, really lovely stuff. Very cushiony, very protective. Just no scent, which I don't like. I like a scent. Now, is it a soap I would recommend? Yeah, I would recommend it just based on performance alone, but I wouldn't recommend it to someone like myself that loves a scent, and I do love a good scent on my soaps. If it's not got a real punchy scent, essentially it doesn't need to be a super strong scent, but just a scent that's, you can really smell that. A scent to me adds just a touch more enjoyment to a shave. It really does. I'm using this razor every day at the moment. With no real, well, no irritation really. Just the irritation of the shave and that's it. There's no way you can have a shave without irritating your skin. It's an impossibility. But you can have a shave without really irritating your skin, if you know what I mean. Without having that burn or anything. Goodness me, is that a smooth shaving razor, I tell you what. If you have not tried a vintage or even a modern gem razor, I haven't tried a modern razor myself. You have to at least get one and try it. It's really worth it. Now you guys that watch Gil over at Second Kinda Cool, I watched this video on the super light sort of gem style razor. Just watched it this morning. Now I find this razor actually very easy to get under my nose. The one that Gil had, it looked like the blade's a little bit further back, but the blade, as you can see, is right at the front of the razor. So I just find you just put it under at that angle. Just tilt it. And it practically cleans the whole lot. It's the first razor I've used that I can actually get in there and get everything with the grain. That's a lovely shave. No weepers, no cuts, no nothing. Just lovely. Post shave, I will say, feels a little dry. My skin feels like it needs moisturising. Maybe not. I can almost sort of feel it. It feels pretty good. It feels alright. Still, it's not a soap that jumps out at me and goes, oh, I wish I'd had this for a long time, or I wish I'd got it ages ago. It just doesn't do that for me. But it's a good performing soap. Lathers up very, very easily. Loves a good drink of water. It gives a pretty good shave. I can't really argue with the shave. It's not as nice as using, say, a Barrister Man, Wickham Sterling, all those soaps. But for a mass-produced soap, which is pretty cheap, it's pretty good, I've got to say. They do it in stick form as well, I believe, and the stick, ideal for travelling, definitely. Rub it on your beard and away you go. So I am pretty happy with that. I feel like I've got a bit of irritation from it. Just a little bit, feels a little bit burny. It's not razor burn, because this thing's really hard to get razor burn with, and I haven't really had that, especially on face shaves. Got it on my head shave, but I was pushing probably a little bit too hard because of the mild feeling that you get from this razor. But yeah, Humphreys. This is the original, and as you can see up the top there, essential oil. Just full, well not full, I put a good whack of lime essential oil in here. I always give it a real good shake. As you can see, the actual stuff goes a sort of greenish colour tinge. It is organic, natural essential oils that I've got in this, and that's all it is with the witch hazel. Whoa, yeah, there's a burn there. The good thing with Humphreys is you do get that burn. It does seem to attack your skin and then start healing it straight away. It's something, and it's a feeling I don't get from Thayer's, other than the medicated, which is nowhere near as wacky as that, and the lemon you get a little bit from the peach as well. It's just a mild feeling you get from the Thayer's. The Humphreys feels like it's really working on your skin as soon as it hits it. It really does. But yeah, that's lovely. So the soap today was LEA, or LEA, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, I'll need to check that up. Spanish made soap, and it's pretty good. Since 1823, it's pretty much a scentless soap. I've got it squished into this little jar here, but it works, you know, it does a job. I might not keep it in the jar, I might actually scoop it out and squish it into a little ball and use it in the shower, I don't know. It's not my cup of tea, but it certainly works. It's made once you add enough water, it makes a lather that's really thick, creamy. It's got pretty good slickness. It's not got as good a slickness as the artisan soaps that I use, the ones that I favour. But you know, for people on a budget, or people that are travelling, or in fact some people that maybe get sensitive skin like a completely scentless soap pretty much, it's ideal. But let's say I've got a little bit of irritation from it. I think it is the soap. I'm pretty sure it's not the razor because it's so smooth. But I could be totally wrong, it might be the razor. It could be my technique. I still haven't quite mastered the angle of the gem razor yet. I get it most times, and then other times it just feels like it's just a little bit sharp. Like I haven't placed it flat enough on my face. The brush, just checking it's pretty much empty, it sure is, was the Wolf Whiskers Blueberry Pie handle, Odyssey shape, 24mm black wolf knot. I think it's about 53mm loft. Beautiful, beautiful brush, a lot of weight, a lot of heft. There's not a blemish on it, it looks beautiful. And the camera never ever does these brushes justice, not just mine, but anyone else that puts them on camera, on video. You very rarely see what that brush is really like until you get it in your hand. And once you've got it in your hand, they're just mind-blowing, some of the brushes. The razor, the Gem Micromatic, made in the USA, twist it open, single edge. This is a Ted Pella PTFE coated blade that's in here. It is buttery smooth, you barely feel it cutting, but it's super efficient and as mild as anything I've ever used. It's milder than the one blade, but more efficient. Just a beautiful little razor. This one is in tip-top condition, really is in great condition. I'll give that a little clean up, wipe the blade down, dry it off, and it'll be on to shave number 5 for the next one. I think it's number 5. Moved on to Humphreys, which I've added some lime essential oil, which you can see sort of floating back to the top. It's sort of clear at the bottom and it's just getting darker as you get near the top. And that lime just adds a little bit of zest to it, because this to me smells like smoky bacon. When you add that lime, it sort of takes that smoky bacon scent out, and it does smell a lot better now. Nivea Men Too Faced, what else? Kick of menthol to go with a little bit of menthol in the soap, and this stuff's just the bollocks. I just love it. It really conditions your skin for the day. It's got a hell of a burn to begin with, and then that menthol kicks in and boom, you're done. Feels great for the rest of the day. Oh yeah. Feel the burn. So that's the burn done. The burn's actually gone completely now. I can feel the glycerin because there's a hell of a lot of glycerin in it, which is good for your skin. It really softens up your skin. It's that's pretty much what my dad used when I was a kid. I still remember he used to have a big tub of glycerin. He was a steel fixer, and he used to come home when his hands were all chapped and dry. He'd just stick his fingers in it and just rub it all over, and then just leave his hands up while he was watching TV and let it soak in. And his hands really were baby soft all the time, but they just looked like shit. But there we have it. I've got a bit of irritation around here, around the bottom of the neck. I could feel that when the soap was on. I felt it afterwards. I think it was the soap that I've had a very, very little reaction to. But other than that, I've had a great shave. It's lovely and smooth. I'm BBS on a lot. But just a damn fine shave that I look for most times. Anyway guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Stay safe, drive safe, don't drink and drive. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Cheers.